Hi everybody. Welcome to another installment of Writers React. Guess what we're doing? Game of Thrones.
Do I have to?
Yeah, well everybody else is. All over the internet, apparently.
I cannot think of one thing that they did right. The final episode was painful. I was sick to my stomach and I couldn't do anything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to find something to watch on HBO. And I was just combing through it and I was like, oh, the last 50 Shades of Grey movie. 50 Shades Freed was more exciting and more entertaining than the last episode of Game of Thrones. You know that feeling when you're on the beach and it's the beginning of summer and the water's still cold and the water hits your genitals for the first time as you're going into the water and they just like shrink? As a woman, it just kind of like, makes it all like no.
Give you ice crotch, okay.
Yeah. That's how the sex scenes in the 50 Shades movies make me feel. And I still felt more entertained while watching the last 50 Shades of Grey movie than I felt watching the Game of Thrones finale.
And I think the decision to subvert people's expectations kind of assassinated these characters. I think most people who watched it felt the same way. It felt like you didn't really know these characters anymore. And if you don't know the characters, why do you care what happens to them when there's no more external conflict? That's why the last episode was so excruciatingly boring.
Well, at one point, you got up and just started cooking dinner, and you were like, fuck it, I don't even care.
Because I didn't.
No.
There's no conflict anymore. Okay, you set up Daenerys as an antagonist, you give her one scene, and then kill her. After Daenerys died, all of a sudden Drogon has this whole complex reaction where he doesn't kill Jon Snow.
My mom got stabbed with a pointy thing. I hate all pointy things. I'm going to melt that.
Melt it, yeah. I guess that explanation makes the most sense, I suppose. And I guess dragons are just hardwired not to kill Targaryens.
Yeah, but then that wasn't set up or explained. It was just like, guess, audience, guess.
Yeah.
And then, I felt so bad because it was the last remaining member of his family. And so the dragon, ended by taking his dead mother's body. It was just like, I was so sad for the dragon. She turned him into a dick, and then he lost his whole family, and then he flew off. It was just like, oh, fuck this show.
What do I want to keep watching for? There's no conflict. There's no, the characters, Jon's in prison, but he doesn't have anything to live for anymore anyways, so who cares? Tyrion's also in prison, once again, doesn't really have anything to live for, so who cares? Oh wait, he had that dramatic scene with Tyrion where they say the same thing 3 different ways. You need to kill Daenerys. I don't want to. You need to kill Daenerys. I don't want to. You need to kill Daenerys. I don't want to.
This episode really needed to be extended, didn't it? I mean, you had Tyrion rearranging chairs. Oh yeah, Tyrion's practicing. This is riveting.
That's a good use of time. You couldn't give Daenerys one more scene as an antagonist, but we got to make sure the feng shui in the small council chamber has the right flow. That's some stakes right there. That's some real high quality storytelling.
Oh my god. Yeah, and this episode had to be extended. Look at the burnt guy walking really slowly. Everyone repeat everything 5 times. They'll rearrange chairs. Extended episodes. Don't worry, guys. There's only 6 episodes of the finale. HBO offered 10, but they're doing 6 because they're lazy fuckers. But they're extended episodes, and you're gonna get to watch some feng shui.
You had a bunch of people sitting around figuring out what the government's gonna be. I could watch C-SPAN, for God's sakes,
Well, let me say first, this is a very difficult time with everything going on and all the provocations and counteractions. And to have no Secretary of Defense at this time is appalling. And it shows the chaos. They have so many empty positions, rotating, revolving doors in the most sensitive of security positions.
The state our country's in these days is just as riveting, if not more so.
Yeah.
Tyrion's talking, he was clever. I would have been interested in what he had to say a couple seasons ago when he said clever things, but now he's an idiot, so why is anybody listening to him? Bran's talent is sitting there watching the world. Decision to make him king, which lots of people don't like. I don't like either. Okay, King is chief executive. You're not just sitting there watching, you're making decisions. You're making executive decisions. Sam absolutely had to be the Archmaester at the end, which makes no sense. Think about it. The Citadel is still intact. Yeah, Old Town's still intact. There's still plenty of maesters that are qualified, that have seniority, that actually have their chains.
Have been trained, fully trained.
Sam never got a chain. He never went through any of it. He dropped out.
Are you sure you want to do this? You always wanted to be a maester.
I'm tired of reading about the achievements of better men.
So why does he get to be Grand Maester?
Yeah, that would be the equivalent of like Boston Hospital choosing somebody who had dropped out of medical school.
You get to be Surgeon General. You've never even been to medical school, dropped out of undergrad, become the Surgeon General.
The North will remain an independent kingdom, as it was for thousands of years.
Letting you walk free would start a war. So our new king has chosen to send you to the Night's Watch.
There's still Night's Watch.
The world will always need a home for bastards and broken men.
Yeah.
Why does John have to go north of the wall when there's nobody to keep north?
It's a different kingdom, too, okay? How do you send somebody to another country? Because the North is now a separate country, it's the Six Kingdoms and the North.
The North will remain an independent kingdom.
Okay, so his penalty as a prisoner is to go to another country and stay there.
But
what if he doesn't stay at the wall? How are you going to enforce that?
No,
it's a whole other country now.
Yeah, all the Unsullied left anyway. They all sailed away, so they wouldn't even be there to know if his punishment was being enforced.
Right.
Just fucking go to Winterfell and live out your life. And why is anybody being sent to the wall where there's no more monsters that they have to keep out of the wall? They made peace with the wildlings. There's no more White Walkers. What the hell are they protecting? Why do we even need the wall? We don't need the wall. So why is he being sent to the wall?
Yeah. Because they couldn't think of anything else. That's basically what.
Oh my god.
Because the writers were in a hurry. They wanted to get this wrapped up and go work on Star Wars and get a big fat paycheck for it. And that was all they could think of.
The moment they went off book, the series started to go downhill. I mean, they were incapable of writing when they didn't have the source material. I blame George Martin for this. Because if he had put out the next book, they at least would have had source material to work with. Yeah, I blame him for eating pizza and watching sporting events and blogging about it and not writing his goddamn book.
George takes 10 years to write each friggin' book. Look, this one has a sneak preview of Winds of Winter. I bought this 5 years ago. Winds of Winter's still not out yet. All he does is eat pizza and blog about football. The writers forgot that they had characters, and characters need to have arcs. They need to end the story differently than how they began, but also get there in a believable way. You can't just follow the plot points. The character has to drive the plot, so otherwise it just doesn't work.
Arya and Bran. You have the characters go on these epic quests to develop these amazing talents. Use those talents in the final season. You had him go north of the wall. You had him become the Three-Eyed Raven. It was an epic quest to get there. His friend died. His wolf died. He lost his friend. He lost his wolf. He lost his mind.
My brother died for you. Hodor and Summer died for you. I almost died for you. You died in that cave.
All for nothing. Also, we could go home and sit in the chair and do absolutely nothing. Even, during the battle with the Night King, I kept waiting for him to sort of warg into the minds of all the animals in the forest and have all the animals in the forest come in and fight the White Walkers, because that would have done something with his powers.
Right?
Just
Active protagonist.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
And that's all he did is sit there with his eyes closed. Arya, she also went on this epic adventure, became a faceless assassin, came back to Winterfell in the final season, had this power, did nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. So you had these two characters go on these epic quests to acquire powers, and then you did absolutely nothing with them in the last few episodes. What a fucking waste. Oh, and Jon Snow, Kit Harington, the most well-paid extra in cinematic history.
Yeah, he barely does anything.
Nothing. He had this, nothing all season.
We knew that he had to die, obviously, because he got 3 more episodes of the series. We just didn't know who was going to kill him. And, it's Arya. So what?
The big threat to him was Bran, because they were setting up that sort of, Bran touched him. He touched Bran and marked Bran. It was Bran and Jon Snow, because he had already battled Jon Snow, north of the Wall when Jon went to go get the wildlings south.
Yeah.
So, those were the two people that should have been involved in his demise, not Arya. Arya had nothing to do with that plot. And if you were going to have her kill him off, maybe it could have worked if she had used one of her faceless assassin powers to get close to him. If she could have taken a face of one of the, zombies and put that on and then used that to get close to him, that would have, used her power that she spent seasons and seasons developing, and then it would have been meaningful to the story. But instead she just comes out of nowhere, and flies towards him, and Bran is just sitting there I'm just gonna meditate until we're all dead.
Yeah.
Doing nothing with his powers.
Jamie.
His character was just shot. It was just just throw out 7 seasons of character development.
Gonna go all the way back, and it's gonna end up how I started, right there with my dysfunctional narcissistic sister who rules my life.
She destroys all the ships. They're all dead. The only one who manages to live is Euron, because why the fuck not? The moment Jaime is coming up the beach, he actually ends up there at the same time, miraculously.
Yeah, comes out of the water like the freaking
Loch Ness Monster. I'm here to be menacing.
Yeah. Why do we have that fight? These characters had one scene together previously when it's oh, I want Cersei, no, you want Cersei.
And I fucked the queen.
I got a bigger dick than you do. Whatever. What is this doing in the climactic portion of the series? A pissing contest between Jaime, who's lost all sympathy because he's just going back to be with his narcissistic sister, and Euron, who
we don't care about at all,
is just some asshole. Yeah.
And then Euron gets stabbed and he's bleeding to death on the beach, and he's lying there with a smile on his face like he's high on ecstasy. He's just I killed Jaime
Looks
Lannister.
right at the camera.
Looks right in the camera, bleeding to death and smiling I killed Jaime Lannister.
And he cares about this. Why?
And he's happy because he's dying bleeding to death on a beach alone.
Once again, felt disappointing. Did not feel catharsis. Did not feel any sort of satisfaction or grief. Or any real feelings.
It was oh, he's dead. I'm so sad. Whatever.
Yeah, when the ceiling's caving down on him and Cersei, it's well, nothing's changed in their relationship. You thought it had, but it hadn't. It's just the same as it's always been. Completely negates. It's it makes the series worse with his character because nothing that he does throughout the course of the series really means anything in the context of his character now.
Jaime's scene with when he left Brienne, and then, you saw her writing nice things about him. He had sex with her and left, and she was a virgin. That would have been traumatic. Should have been Sir Jaime Lannister, smallest cock in the 7 kingdoms. It was so small, only his narcissistic bitch sister would fuck him. His imp brother had a big cock and Jaime had a small cock. The genes went the other way. Nobody knows what happened, but it was the smallest cock in the 7 kingdoms. Glad the fuck is dead. Hope a big rock crushed his small cock. And then Cersei didn't do anything all season but stare out the goddamn window. She just stood there all season looking out the window. And this is the antagonist that's supposed to be more of an epic battle than the Night King. The Night King's dead.
Yeah,
and so that's wrapped up. Now all they have to do is deal with Cersei, who is a pregnant woman staring out the window.
See.
I thought that they were setting up Sansa to actually be the one to kill Cersei, because there was that nice scene with Arya where she hands Sansa the blade.
Take this and go.
I don't know how to use it.
Sticking with the pointy end.
Which was a flashback, allusion to Jon's scene with her in season 1 where he gives her a needle.
First lesson, sticking with the pointy end.
I know which end to use.
But I thought, Sansa was tortured by Cersei and her son. So I thought it would have been such a great fitting ending if Sansa had actually been the one to stab the bitch to death. That would have been yes!
Oh, yeah.
But instead we've got, rocks are falling on her, and no one that she hurt knows that she's dead, so they don't get any sort of, feeling that justice has been served. Just take this villain that used to be a great villain, have her stare out the window all season, do absolutely nothing, and then have her death mean absolutely nothing to anybody. Coffee cups in episodes, and the cinematographers telling people that they're too stupid to adjust their picture quality on their computers and their television. Yeah, in the third episode, the Battle of Winterfell. It's like, just insult all your fans. You're too stupid to adjust your picture quality. I didn't do it. You couldn't see anything.
We made it brighter, and now it looks all misty and crap because we got the brightness turned all the way up. That's not good cinematography. That's the opposite of good cinematography.
The way the second dragon died. Euron and Euron's fleet nails the dragon like 3 times
Able
in a row.
to get rapid succession shots off of these things with pinpoint accuracy. All the same target. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Next episode. Suddenly it takes an hour to load them up and do all the cranks. You gotta adjust it this way and that way.
And they can't hit one dragon.
No.
With like 500 of them aiming. Suddenly, the dragon is like this indestructible moving target. Where the
dragon now has plot armor.
Yes.
You have acquired the plot armor.
The preview for that episode. That is not intimidating because you just killed one so easily. So having the dragon coming, he's not going to be scared because they're so easy to kill, and that's not going to build tension. And then I'm thinking, how she can't bring the dragon to the final battle because they're going to kill her last child. She cannot bring the dragon with her to the last battle. It's not an option, which actually would have been interesting because that was like, her best weapon is suddenly not usable. That would have made the character interesting. But no, she just comes in and just like in 5 minutes, fleet destroyed, all the scorpions destroyed. Like, 1 million of them can't hit one dragon in this episode, but the last episode, one scorpion hit the dragon 3 times.
Because the writers couldn't think of anything else.
She sees the Red Keep, which is to her the home that her family built when they first came over to this country 300 years ago. It's in that moment on the walls of King's Landing when she's looking at that symbol of everything that was taken from her when she makes the decision to make this personal.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit! 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 Bull, 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 bull! Shit, 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 shit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
Is that all I'm ever gonna get from you guys? Bullshit?
You turn Daenerys into an antagonist. If you want this character to turn from being a hero to a villain, fine, but take your time with it, for God's sakes. Don't just make her turn like that. This is the same character who locked up her children, her dragons, her children.
Because they killed one child.
They killed one child. So that she locked up her children, possibly forever.
Yeah, to prevent that from happening again. This woman was so horrified when she saw children murdered. I mean, this went against every choice that Daenerys had made through all 7 seasons. What she did in season 8 went against every aspect of her character. It wasn't set up right. It was forced. There was no reason for Daenerys to snap. She had a miscarriage.
She won.
No, I mean, she had a miscarriage. She lost her biological child. Her husband, she had to smother her own husband with a pillow, and she didn't lose her mind. Okay, if you have the character go through absolute hell like that, and they don't snap, the character has already been through hell and survived it, and didn't lose her mind, and came out of it mentally okay, she's not gonna fucking lose her mind because her friend died and her dragon died.
There is something kind of chilling about the way that Dany has responded to the death of her enemies. And if circumstances had been different, I don't think the side of Dany ever would have come out. If Cersei hadn't betrayed her, if Cersei hadn't executed Missandei, if Jon hadn't told her the truth, like if all these things had happened in any different way, then I don't think we'd be seeing this side of Daenerys Targaryen.
I don't think she decided ahead of time that she was going to do what she did. And then she sees the Red Keep, which is to her the home that her family built when they first came over to this country 300 years ago. It's in that moment on the walls of King's Landing when she's looking at that symbol of everything that was taken from her when she makes the decision to make this personal.
You have to explain any part of it, you failed. Okay? Because if it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, no. George Lucas had to do that after episode 3 came out.
Anakin is the chosen one.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
And even when Anakin turns into Darth Vader, he is still the chosen one. The prophecy is that Anakin will bring balance to the Force and destroy the Sith. He becomes Darth Vader. Darth Vader does become the hero. Darth Vader does balance to the Force.
No, that's not what happened. Nobody
always a red flag.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with balancing the Force. Okay, nothing. Arya, the strongest plot armor ever. There was a couple of scenes where there were some shots where I'm like, she has to be dead. It looks like, walls of rubble are like crumbling down on top of her, but nope, she's still alive.
Yeah.
The strongest plot armor ever. This is the argument that delusional people who are trying to convince themselves that the ending was good are trying to say. They say that because Missandei said Dracarys, Daenerys decided to Dracarys and burn down the whole city. Or because her father was the Mad King and wanted to burn them all, she became the Mad Queen and burned them all. So it was really cathartic that she fulfilled her father's destiny. No, this was not
That's
cathartic.
Not how destiny works. First of all, nobody wants to see a story about somebody who is exactly like their parents. Nobody wants to see Luke become Darth Vader.
So anyway, if you're fed up and you're starving for a decent fantasy series, read his.
I want to give my solemn word as a writer that I will never have any of my characters suddenly turn into a homicidal maniac for no reason and start killing a bunch of children because they were pissed off. Don't need to worry about that happening in any of my books.
There's a petition online, if you guys don't know, change.org. Remake season 8 with competent writers. HBO probably won't do it, but it sends a big, nice, message that we're all disgusted and that they need to do a better job. And I honestly think they should do a better job because everyone is disgusted. The fans are disgusted. The actors who worked on the show are disgusted. I mean, this is just unacceptable. So sign the petition. Even if they don't remake it, it's like, sending them a nice message that...
You don't get off that easy.
Yeah.
You don't get away with ruining an otherwise great series with
crappy writing.
The ultimate half-assed finale.
Fuck you, Dan and Dave. Fuck you. Blessed be.
Blessed be.